Narasimha corner of the window. Thank you so much, Maharaj, coming to our house and making it more complete. We are so much grateful to you again. Today, actually, Maharaj, I'm sure Achlila Mataji has mentioned that there will be a more question and answer session, interactive session. Then after that session, you can speak anything you wish to say. Is it okay, Maharaj? I hope it's okay.
Yeah.
We have our Ciranjiv Prabhu, he is experienced Grihastha. And maybe he can also add up something to the answers. So
Definitely.
from his Grihastha ashram also. So we would like to hear both answers, Maharaj.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, maybe we will start with the question. Maybe we can say, like, if you are not prepared with the questions, once someone is going with the questions, answers, please, prepare your question. The theme is, we have wonderful association of the great Vaishnavas and Maharaj here. So let us take the advantage. And you might have some question, like, which might be bothering you to grow, spiritually. Last time one sannyasi mentioned we should ask appropriate question also at the same time, under the terms and conditions. So please ask Maharaj and Prabhu questions such a way that, one question, both will answer, so that, you will get a proper takeaway, since you're coming, spending the time here. Yes, please start with, who will start? Laltana Prabhu, do you start?
I didn't prepare any questions. Yes, a question.
Yeah. Yes.
How to read Prabhupada book systematically? I mean, you read Prabhupada book sometimes from here, sometimes from there. Is it you think there is any systematic way which can help a growing devotee to read the book in that fashion so that he can benefit more in his spiritual life?
Yes, well, generally we recommend people to first study the Bhagavad Gita. And then Bhagavad Gita is, Prabhupada would sometimes say, it's like ABC. And the Srimad Bhagavatam is a higher study. It's like more like graduate study. And Chaitanya Charitamrita is like postgraduate study. So that's something about recommend. But Srila Prabhupada, when he was giving classes, he would lecture, in the very beginning, he would lecture from Chaitanya Charitamrita, he would lecture sometimes Srimad Bhagavatam. First two cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam they're more basic knowledge. And he actually said we should be quite pure before we go on to higher cantos. So the first two cantos, they're very important. Srimad Bhagavatam, want to study them very carefully. But Bhagavad Gita is the basis. That's the basic. Definitely. But you may like to begin with smaller books, like, Beyond Birth and Death, Perfection of Yoga, Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers. These are small books, and these are actually taken from Prabhupada's lectures. They're not actually books which Prabhupada wrote, but they were edited from Prabhupada's lectures by the BBT. They published them as smaller books, and Prabhupada approved them. And then there's other books also, like Nectar of Instruction and Ishopanishad, Nectar of Devotion. Nectar of Devotion is a very important book, and we should read it regularly.
But Maharaj, sometimes when I hear or read Chaitanya Charitamrita, I relate it more, because in Bhagavatam pastime comes, it's heavenly planet, and some heavenly things like Hiranyakashipu was living on that planet is sometimes difficult to relate. But when we read Chaitanya Charitamrita, devotees were doing kirtan, they felt hungry, so they were taking prasadam. So we relate, it's more what we experience. So is it not correct, or is it we should not read Chaitanya Charitamrita for if we have not finished Bhagavatam?
Of course, there are portions of the Chaitanya Charitamrita which are describing, as you say, like kirtan and having prasadam and things. But there's also some very deep philosophy there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Very high philosophy. When Lord Chaitanya is talking with Ramananda Rai, for example, it's very philosophical, very high philosophical. And you will see in the Chaitanya Charitamrita different slokas, different verses are taken from Srimad Bhagavatam, and they're discussed and explained. But some portions of Chaitanya Charitamrita are easily readable. They're lila. So, like I say, Prabhupada would lecture. Sometimes in the very beginning, you can hear lectures. Prabhupada's talking from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srimad Bhagavatam, you hear he's also talking. Usually, the first two cantos. Later, other cantos came later as he was translating. You never hear Prabhupada lecture in the 10th canto.
But you met Prabhupada?
Yeah, and Prabhupada's disciple.
Yeah, sorry. Maharaj, was there any time when Prabhupada was not happy and he chastised you?
Yeah, well, of course. Sometimes we know Prabhupada was upset with the things in the temple or something. So, we were conscious. Prabhupada's angry, you better be careful.
So Maharaj, it was like how we hear in lecture, it was, okay, do like this and hear me. So Prabhupada used to like that?
Yeah. You can hear Prabhupada. Sit properly.
Yeah. I don't want to lecture this. Why are you moving your leg?
Yeah.
Right.
Ciranjiv. What do you say?
Yeah, you said it, Maharaj. It's, for example, in the introduction of Bhagavatam, Prabhupada said, this Bhagavatam is nectar. Anywhere you touch is nectar. But for a serious student, you start reading from first canto, and then gradually progress to second and all the way. But if you read the first 9 canto, it's describing about creation, different incarnation, the universe and all that, firmly establishing who the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when we come to the 10th canto, we have no doubt that Krishna is just not just an ordinary boy. So one can appreciate the pastimes of Krishna more after you've gone through the 9th canto. Of course, Prabhupada, he didn't know how long he was going to live. He gave us a Krishna book at a very early stage. But the way Prabhupada described in the Krishna book, he also put in a lot of philosophy. So when you read Krishna book also, you cannot have any doubts who Krishna is. That was actually the first book I read, Krishna book. But if you want to really seriously study Prabhupada's book, I suggest you go for Bhakti Shastri. Maharaj was also teaching Bhakti Shastri, now he's teaching Bhakti Vaibhav. Then they systematically study Bhagavad Gita, first 2 canto Bhagavatam, part of Nectar Devotion, Ishopanishad, like that. You complete that, then you go to the next stage, Bhakti Vaibhav and graduate. Like, no honorary degree, master degree, PhD, all the different stages.
I read all the books in Bhagavatam, but then when I had to read them again, then there are this, like 3rd canto with the atoms and the time, and it's like it doesn't much.
Doesn't sink in.
Yeah, I simply, even if I read it 3 times, I still cannot figure it out. And then there are so many other cantos where I can relate so much more. So also like when you read 9 canto and all of these names, that this one came from this one, and then this dynasty, then this couple created these children, and they produced this king, and this. It's like unending, and then in the end I read it. But when you have to read it again, It's very difficult, even though in the end it says whoever reads this candle will get immense benefit. But is it natural to, or should one still like read all the candles equally?
Yeah. Yeah, different cantos, they have different subject matters. But you shouldn't be put off just by many names, just like in the Bhagavad Gita. It begins also in the first chapter, there's a lot of names there. So sometimes people read so many names. But they're all full of spiritual potency because it's presented in the Srimad Bhagavatam or in the Bhagavad Gita. So they have spiritual potency. And they help to prepare us for hearing about Krishna. So you shouldn't feel discouraged. The calculation of time from the atom is, it's a bit complex and it's not something everyone's interested in. But these things have to be explained, they have to be discussed. You don't have to dwell on them a lot. You can't expect to understand everything in Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of Krishna. So, you can't expect to understand everything in Srimad Bhagavatam. Because Krishna is so unlimited, beyond our comprehension.
There are many different parts, different topics we discuss. I'm similar when it comes to all this atom, timing, Sankhya philosophy, all this technical part. My mind just shuts down. But I just continue reading. Someday it will break through. But then there are other topics which really can resonate a lot more, like how to serve, devotional service, different aspects of devotional service, then you feel more inclined. So, but I know devotees, they get really excited studying all this technical thing. They try to break down the structure of the universe, the time, they get all fired up. So we are make up differently. I mean, like my mother said, they all have their potency. We don't skip, we just read. And Bhagavatam is very vast. You cannot claim to understand everything that we read.
I enjoy reading those portions because in astronomy, modern science says the universe of the age is 13.8 billion and current Earth age is 5.8 billion year old. But when you do mathematics of Lord Brahma's age, it's in 10% plus minus.
There you go.
So we were presenting to other community of our engineering department that Bhagavatam is right and you are wrong. Your 20% deviation is because of your instrument wrong, not Bhagavatam's thing. So it really, by reading this, many of us like this, I get a lot of rasa in reading that.
Yeah.
I like to read it because the size of the universe is so big that human mind cannot comprehend it. And there was a question I asked people that if suppose you have to given 2 tasks, can you count the stars or count the sand particle on the earth? Both are impossible, but you cannot count the stars. So the universe is so big, so we get so happy to read that section. Especially I like that.
I mean, I have continued on what Chaitanya, I think he kind of hinted at that it's difficult to find time for some devotees to actually get into systematic reading. That I know some devotees who've been here for years and decades and have not even read Prabhupada's books yet, which I mean, it seems, one gets into systematic reading, then actually all Prabhupada's books should be read every 2-3 years and then over again. But some don't get to read even all of them after many years. Can you say something about how to get over that, overcome that, and get into actually that systematic reading, which I think should be a foundation for everybody's life. You should be familiar with everything you follow, I suppose.
Well, you can join a reading club, make a group where you're reading every day or once a week or something, where you meet together and read and do it systematically, just going through the Prabhupada's book. There are many groups like that nowadays. We do have a lot of devotees who do that. They form a group, a few ladies, some men, whatever, they get together and they read everything. They read regularly. You just have that program, reading together with other devotees. Make a program like that so that regularly you're together and you're reading. It doesn't have to be for a long time. 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that. You can read even 10 minutes. But make it every day. You do it every day. You get it to habit.
I would like to just comment on this because being in a female body, I noticed that for many years I just associated with the Mataji's like such a nice sari or like in kirtan, but we did an exchange philosophy, and then when we started having this reading groups, just like you're saying, 2 or 3 of us meeting, you got to know each other so much deeper, and also this female nature, maybe it's not only female nature, but competition and about services or something, and this just disappear when you read, because you become so grateful to the person that you share knowledge with. So
yeah, very nice. Yeah, definitely, it's very beneficial just having that association, coming together and reading Prabhupada's books. It's a very purifying, powerful effect.
We have a reading group, Mahaprabhu has a reading group on Thursday, so please join. We also have a Mataji's Namahata, please come.
Prabhupada recommended how much, didn't Prabhupada recommend like 1 hour's reading per day?
No, Prabhupada never said anything like that. He left it to us. But, like in temple, we have Bhagavatam classes every day. How long should the Bhagavatam class be? No, Prabhupada generally lectured, half an hour. Anymore, very rarely. In the beginning he was lecturing longer, but later on as the movement began, his lectures were much more half an hour. Very much on that, half an hour, sometimes 25 minutes, sometimes half an hour. Very rarely he would go over half an hour. He didn't consider that devotees have a lot of attention span, any more than half an hour is challenging for us.
Yeah, how do we develop a genuine taste for the chanting? And then the second part of the question is like, what is one thing keeps you motivated in the Krishna consciousness? Yeah, the first question is how do we develop the genuine taste for chanting? And the second question is like, one thing keep Maharaj motivated in Krishna consciousness?
How does your taste of chanting? And how does Maharaj remain motivated in the service?
Well, you get taste for chanting by chanting. You have to do more chanting. You want more taste? Do more chanting. The more you chant, the more you'll taste. Kirtan is also very important. It helps to get taste for the holy name. Kirtan, also hearing the theology behind the holy name, understanding about the the principle of meditation on the holy name, hearing the different offenses, and you can read like Harinam Chintamani, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is describing about the holy name. He's got Lord Chaitanya and Haridas talking. So these kind of books, they help give more taste for the holy name, help us to understand the holy name and what are the offenses, what to avoid. But especially more chanting.
When you say more chanting, it's just the number of the rounds or the quality of the chanting?
Both. Both quality and quantity are important.
Someone asked Prabhupada, what's the goal of the chanting? And he said, more chanting. Prabhupada gave the example of someone has joined this. All for that is drinking, what's the sugar? Sugar water. But someone who joined this, sugar water doesn't taste good. But that's a cure. And another good example is, you see very often kirtan. You may not be enthusiastic, you're just standing there, meditating on your own lotus feet. But someone just put you into the middle of the kirtan, you start dancing, you get caught up in the spiritual energy and you get blissful. So we may not have the taste of chant, but we keep just chant and keep on chanting, and the taste just develops. In fact, at certain days when you chant more rounds, like take a while, 64 rounds, there must be 108 rounds. By the time you reach the 50 rounds, and that you really get, that's the taste really comes in after that.
I also find that, actually, more kirtan also gives one's taste for chanting japa. Or the other way around, if I don't get enough kirtan, I can see that fix my japa. There's not so much relish in chanting or attraction to chanting. So maybe it's also that we have to have a minimum daily doses of kirtan. I think that was Einstein's point. He had something that every devotee has to also have at least. And he said 1 hour's kirtan. I know everyone can find time for that, but it's important to have regular kirtan sing. That will also, that will affect your chanting your taste for chanting the name in japa.
Yeah, like if you come to the morning program, you have Mangal Arti, you have about half an hour kirtan there, and then Guru Puja, there's another 20 minutes kirtan there. You can get if you're taking part in the morning program, you get you get a lot of kirtan, you get an opportunity for kirtan. It's all there in the morning program, the sadhana. If we have that, our spiritual life, that really helps us. Of course, not everybody lives in the temple. You can't expect everyone to live in the temple. And Prabhupada said he never lived in the temple, but still he did everything. He did everything in his home. He did japa, he was studying Bhagavatam.
It's actually fantastic to see Giant Govinda and Shamala's children here, like Krishna Chaitanya and Vrinda, how they each take care of the deities here in the morning and give them flowers and small offerings. I see that we all see how well they develop. He's such an expert Mridanga player and Vrinda singing harmonium. This kirtan, then they have this program every day.
Yeah. They have to keep it up.
Yes, please.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I wrote 2 questions.
Please speak louder, Mata.
What is the purpose of marriage according to Krishna consciousness, and how should couples deal with conflicts and differences in a way that strengthens their spiritual life and helps them raise Krishna conscious children? And second question, how to remember Krishna in difficult times? It's so difficult to remember Krishna when it's a hard time or conflict.
How does the first question is, what's the purpose of Krishna married life? Well, the thing in general, we find even devotees, they try to live a renounced life, but eventually they need companionship. So the whole idea of married life is to support, assist and support one another in our Krishna consciousness. You know, at one there's some strong point and some weak point, but together we can complement one another, and then in this way, the purpose of the married life is Krishna is in the center. And when you have children, you try your best. It's not always successful, but you try your best to give them Krishna consciousness as much as possible when they're young, especially. And eventually, when they grow up, they make their own choice. You know, everyone choose the path. By samskara, you attract a pure soul to take birth, but there's also their karma. There's also their free choice that they have to make eventually. So that's purpose. And like Prabhupada said, man is good, woman is good. Together, maybe not so good. Because, like the book, you know, men are from Mars, women from Venus. Because men think differently than women. What they say has one meaning, but the women take on a different meaning. So there's always this communication problem between men and women when they speak, when they do something, when they say something. For example, the wife come home with her, then the husband straight away provides solution. Because men are problem solvers. They provide solution. But the wife doesn't want solution. They just want some attention. That they're okay, and then they figure it out. Then they end up with no problem. So these are just differences between men and women. So if you have a senior grihastha couple in temple, if there's any problem, just speak to them, take some guidance from them before the problem becomes too deep. The longer you wait, the longer you can let the problem grow, the harder it becomes solved. Most of the time, this problem is just not understanding one another. It can be very easily solved.
Last question. How to remember Krishna? How to remember Krishna in difficult times?
How
to remember Krishna in difficult times? That is difficult. When difficult situation comes, the mind overpowers and we go into ignorance or sadness.
Well, difficulties come. You have to train yourself how to react. You have to train yourself to chant the holy name, take shelter of the holy name. No, only Krishna can help you. You have to remember, there are difficulties. Krishna is your best friend. You're forgetting Krishna. So you have to make your home Krishna conscious. You have to have Krishna kirtan going on. You have to have Krishna's pictures. You have to have like the altar here, like this. You have to make your life, practice it, put it into your life, into practice. But every day you have some program to remember Krishna. So when the difficulties come, then you will naturally think of Krishna. And Queen Kunti said like that, right? In the Queen Kunti's prayers. Queen Kunti says, let all these difficulties come again and again, because then I will think of you again and again. And thinking of Krishna means no more birth and death. So it's very important you train yourself that when the difficulties come, you get your beads. Right? The difficulties are coming because you've forgotten Krishna. So you have to start, you have to get your beads and you have to chant. Some problem, go out for a walk, go out and chant. You have to just train yourself that this is what you're going to do when the problems come. You have to pick up your beads and you have to take shelter of the holy name. Call out to Krishna. Krishna is your best friend. So you have to remember that. So you have to call his name. You come, you have to.
Sometimes you have to detach yourself from the situation for a while, because when you're caught up in the problem, you're just circling around the problem. You go and chant, go and read, doing something, and then come back and face it. So very often you come back, the problem solves itself. You don't have to do anything. And as Maharaj is pointing out, it's very important to train himself. Remember Sunday we talked about International Society for Krishna Consciousness. You know, to train our mind to be always conscious of Krishna with everything we do. So if we train ourselves nicely, whatever happens in our life, our reaction, how we respond to the problem is through Shastra Chakshu. We see through the eyes of the scripture, not the Mana Chakshu. Not reacting according to how we feel, what our mind is telling us. We react to, okay, what does the Shastra say? How do I deal with this problem? Sometimes my children, my wife, they complain about me. Sometimes we go through difficult situations. They say, don't you have any feelings? You never react. I say, how do you react? Just react to what I've learned from Prabhupada's books. That's how I react. Not just reacting to how I feel or in my emotions. So that training. And that's why it's so important to regularly read Prabhupada's books. Regularly. Every day. Because then you equip yourself with all the tools, the armory to fight against mind when it comes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Hare Krishna Prabhu. I have a very simple question, but it has been in my mind like for a long time. Each chanting and then going to the kirtans or temple or doing the Krishna service is enough, or should I always be like willing to do more? For me, I have been in this journey for like 2 years almost, or 1.5. I have the great association and everything. I love chanting. I do my 16s and more, and then I read Prabhupada's book every day. But sometimes I feel like I need to do better, or should I be like just doing whatever I'm doing, or just should I look forward like for us, like getting initiation someday is like a big step, but for me, I even don't have my Kanchimala. Last year also you told me where is your Kanchimala, but whenever I think about it, I'm just like confused, like whatever I'm doing is enough, or should I be like going for the further steps? You know what I mean?
Well, I think there's no harm for you to go further. It's always good for you to go forward. If you don't go forward, you'll go down. That's not good. You see, you want to go forward. So you have to put your Kuntimala back on, and you have to really think about going forward. If you can do more, do it. Yeah. If you have the opportunity, it'd be very good for you to do more. You get more purification. You get more Krishna consciousness. The more you give to Krishna, the more Krishna will give you. So, don't be afraid to go forward. You do want to go forward. Because if you don't go forward, you go, just like we give the example, the arrow. the arrow, it has to always go forward, otherwise it will go down. If it stops, it will go down. So you don't want to go down, you want to go up, you want to go forward. So it's important for you to, if you can do more, very nice. We have a lot to do. There's many things to be done. We'll be happy if you can do more. Krishna will bless you more and more.
Very good desire. To want to do more and more and more. And it's a very good aspiration to want to seek out a spiritual master and take shelter and take initiation. Very important part of spiritual life. If you want to seriously progress further, you need to have a spiritual master.
Of course, first thing you do is you take shelter of Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is the spiritual teacher for all the devotees. He is we say the shiksha, he's the one giving the instructions. So people like yourself coming to Krishna consciousness, the first thing to do is to take shelter of Srila Prabhupada and develop a feeling, a relationship with Prabhupada. And you do that by being active in his society, like the ISKCON society, Prabhupada's society. And we're reading his books. We're doing all the things he taught us. So I think that's the first thing you have to develop a connection with Srila Prabhupada. Did you ever take the ISKCON disciple course?
No, actually I'm taking this month.
Oh, good. So that will help you a lot. Will make it clearer for you about going forward.
Online? Yeah, we are having from next week onwards, Maharaj. So next one disciple course in the temple.
Good. Yeah, very good.
You are doing it?
2 weeks.
Janta.
2 weeks now.
Janta, you're doing it? You're conducting it?
That's what kind of plan, but it's not yet decided fully. I just got information, not to make conflicts.
Yes, ma'am.
My question is, when I saw Prabhupada, personally, when we met him, we can only read about him in Prabhupada Lilamrita or hear from his disciples. And when I'm just trying to imagine this mood, what was there in 70s when he was here on this planet. But can you share your experience if that mood has changed, and at least externally, and what does it mean Prabhupada's mood and how we can keep it? Maybe not externally because devotees, they don't live in temples so much anymore. Like used to, everybody were doing book distribution, even in the temples. Now things, they changed a little bit. So how we can keep this mood, even though that external situation has changed a little bit. What is Prabhupada's mood?
Well, Prabhupada's mood was like everyone to become Krishna conscious. Whatever you do it for Krishna. You're working in the office, or you're a housewife, or whatever you're doing, you do it for Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna. Book distribution, okay, some people can do it, not everybody. How long they do it for, that's also questionable. But no harm. It's definitely very powerful, purifying to go out on book distribution. But you can also make advancement by doing other things. You can also progress in Krishna by following Prabhupada's teachings. You never saw Prabhupada. That's not important. You don't need to see Prabhupada. You need to hear Prabhupada. And Prabhupada is speaking to us in his books and in his lectures. It's not seeing so much which is the important thing. The eye exercise You want to see Prabhupada? You can look at the movies. There are recordings, there's videos of Prabhupada. You can see him. You know, Prabhupada was. Not that everybody got to sit and be with Prabhupada and he would talk to you. No. But Prabhupada began the movement and he had, you know, he had a vision that he wanted the world to become a better place. He wanted people to become Krishna conscious. And he wanted to see the holy name chanted around the world as Lord Chaitanya had predicted. So Prabhupada, he had that kind of vision. Go, you know, let everyone chant the holy name everywhere. So we're trying to fulfill that vision of Srila Prabhupada. Having Sankirtan parties, like devotees. Today in Stockholm, the devotees all went on Harinam. You know, there was a youth group, there were 60 young people from mostly Scandinavian countries had all come there to Hamviks, and they were staying there at the center, and today they all went into Stockholm and they had a big Harinam. And so that's very pleasing to Srila Prabhupada. You like to see devotees chant the holy name. Now how many times, every day, you know, it's not possible, you know, you can't do it every day. But when I joined the Krishna consciousness movement, that was what we did every day. We chanted the holy, we'd go on, I joined in London, and every day we'd do Harinam, every day. Morning, after breakfast, we'd go out, come back for lunch, go out again in the afternoon, come back. And we did this every day, winter and summer. We went out on Harinam. And we became very much a part of the London scene. And even sometimes they would ask people, well, you know, when you think of London, what site do you think? They say, oh, Hare Krishna, you know. Hare Krishna people singing and dancing. It's a common scene there. So, you know, Prabhupada liked to see devotees being Krishna conscious, chanting the holy name. Very nice. But you can do it also in your family life, just like in your home. Have deities, worship the deity, have a little altar, do some puja, do kirtan, make your home Krishna conscious, chanting the holy name. You don't have to be sitting and watching television all day, night, you know. Watch some movie. You have people have different tastes, you know. Some people are watching World Cup, some people are watching cricket, some people are watching movies, different things. But some people are chanting Hare Krishna, and having kirtan, and discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a higher taste, you see. We have to develop the higher taste. That's important, to get a taste for chanting and have a disgust for the materialistic way of life. You know, just feel compassion also on people who have no Krishna consciousness. We want to develop that compassionate mood, caring about others, not just thinking only about ourselves, but thinking about others, how we can help others. You may say, well, what can I do to help others, you know? Well, there's a lot you can do. You know, you can just give them a book. You can invite them to come to the temple. You can give them some prasadam. These things.
Actually, once in the class, a devotee asked Prabhupada, what pleases you the most? Then everyone was thinking, the book distributors were thinking, now you can talk book distribution. BVD thinking the book production. The Pujari thinking, dress the deity nice. Everyone's thinking about the service. Then Prabhupada said, when you develop love for Krishna, that's the most pleasant. As Maharaj pointed in the beginning, now when we become Krishna conscious, that's Prabhupada's one.
So it will go a bit more further about what Kamal Lachan asked. You were speaking about also how to make at home, Krishna conscious, but how to inspire devotees who are living not that far from the temple to put in the center the deities what we have there in the temple, that they are trying to kind of come for the temple programs instead of having from those devotees who are living close by around the temple or distance close, that not to have the deities at their home and they are just keeping their deities in the center, but also could attend in the temple, putting in the center, temple's deities.
It depends on the devotee. I can give 2 examples. In one temple, in Kuala Lumpur, for example, just across the road from the temple, just like the road here, it's a big apartment block. Many devotees live there. But they don't come for the temple program. Yeah, just across the street. Whereas in Melbourne, many devotees, they want to move to rent or buy houses near the temple. And that's a very expensive area where the temple is by the waterfront. And Mangalati temple is packed. Easily 40, 50 devotees. They would go Mangalati, they would sit there and they would chant. They would chant until deity greeting, offer flowers to Prabhupada, and then they go to work. So it depends on the devotee, how important it is in their spiritual life. They all know, everyone knows, supposed to go for program. But
I want to ask a little bit different question. This Ritvik Acharyas we hear time again. So what is the Sastric injection about it? Was it in Shastras what it is told about Ritvik Acharya?
about?
Ritvik Acharyas? And was there any Prabhupada instruction on that?
What do you say of the Shastra say?
Yeah, there's the
Ritvik.
Huh?
Ritvik.
Oh.
Well, just what we saw from Srila Prabhupada, from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he established his Gaudiya Math, and then after Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati left the world, then they didn't follow the instruction of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. They appointed one person as the Acharya, and that was a problem, because one person got problems. So that was a, and Srila Prabhupada indicated to us that not one person, but it was to be the GBC were to be like the governing body, the authority to decide how everything should be done in ISKCON. Certain people were chosen by Prabhupada to be the GBC and to organize, to look after the institution, to protect the society. So how it was always done in the past was, after the Acharya disappears, then his disciples would take over. And the different disciples, they all have the right to take disciples.
What is it? Ceiling.
Coming
Who? Walking up there.
గ్లాస్ మీద వచ్చింది
ఏంటిది
బృంద గ్లాస్ మీద వచ్చింది గ్లాస్ మీదకి
పడ్డదా ఏంటి
sometimes crash.
Yeah, after the spiritual master disappears, then his disciples have they can accept disciples in the absence of their spiritual teacher. They can become also the spiritual teacher and accept disciples. That was the system generally. In all the sampradayas, they had that standard procedure. After the disappearance of the acharya or the guru, once the guru departs, then his disciples can go on and they can also accept disciples. So long as their spiritual teacher is on the planet, when they bring people to Krishna consciousness, they'll bring them to their guru, and their guru can accept them, give them initiation. So long as their guru is physically present. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita it describes there are two kinds of gurus. There's the Shiksha Guru and the Diksha Guru. So Shiksha Guru, he said, Prabhupada writes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we can have many Shiksha Gurus. And from the Shiksha Gurus, one will become more prominent, and that person should become the Diksha Guru. And the Chaitanya Charitamrita also begins, the very first word, Bande Gurun. Gurun means plural. It means I offer my obeisances to the spiritual masters. Not one spiritual master, but all the spiritual masters. It's important. You know, sometimes in ISKCON we do have a little problem. We give too much importance to the Diksha Guru. And we think, he's my Guru. But actually we have to offer obeisances to all the spiritual teachers. And of course Srila Prabhupada is the Shiksha Guru for all the members of ISKCON. So in ISKCON we do have the tradition, you hear from the ISKCON disciple course, it's actually the procedure nowadays that taking initiation is not just taking shelter of a guru, but you're taking membership into ISKCON. You're becoming officially connected to the ISKCON society. And it helps you to have a direct relationship with Srila Prabhupada and the whole parampara. Now, we worry that what happens if the guru falls down? We've seen in the past spiritual teachers sometimes appear to be very successful, but somehow they got some difficulties. They got into some deviations. You know, you could say spiritual fall downs. Maybe they broke the regulator principle, right? So what happens in that situation? So it's explained in the ISKCON disciple course. Anyway, we'll explain today a little that if you've taken initiation from somebody who's in a fallen condition, you can try to help him to reform and keep him in Krishna consciousness and bring him back to the proper standard. If you have lost faith in him and you don't want to trust him anymore, you can take shelter of Srila Prabhupada, or you can also go ahead and take shelter of another spiritual teacher. Take initiation again. Although we're only supposed to take initiation one time, but if you're unfortunate that somehow you took initiation from someone who deviated from the spirit, if you have no more faith in the person, you can take initiation from someone else. Now, Rigvikism, they're saying take initiation from Srila Prabhupada. Well, Srila Prabhupada is certainly the Diksha Guru, the Shiksha Guru. He is the Shiksha Guru for everyone. We agree to that. But he cannot give Diksha, because when you want initiation, you have to go to the spiritual master and ask him for initiation. Now sometimes they may say no. They may say, I'm not taking disciple. I don't want disciple. Or they may say, you're not ready. But if you say that Prabhupada's my guru, you never met Prabhupada, you never asked Prabhupada to accept you, you're simply basing everything on your own understanding. So that procedure, we never heard this before. It was never done like that before. Never. And anywhere in the Sampradaya. We never heard that you could go to, if you can go to Prabhupada, you can go to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati also. Why not go to Lord Chaitanya and take initiation from him? So that's what it comes to, it's just a deviation actually from the normal procedure. It's just not logical that you can go yourself. Prabhupada is your guru. I meet people sometimes, there's a few of them, they're from the Ritvik community, and I ask them, oh, what's your name? And then they say the name, and oh, you're initiated? Yes. Who's your guru? Prabhupada. Oh, you're in the movement 2 years? Is it? Yes. And you're Prabhupada's disciple? Never met Prabhupada. Never. It's okay, I'm reading Prabhupada's books and following Prabhupada's teaching. Well, yeah, it's up to them. They have like, they do like that, There's definitely got to be somebody there guiding them. Somebody has to be there to give them instruction, to give them direction. If you're going to take Ritvik initiation, somebody's going to give you the name. Who's going to give you the name? Who's going to chant on your beats? Oh, Prabhupada disciple. Okay, so then they're your guru, right? They're the one giving you the name. They're the one chanting on your beats. They're your guru. No, Prabhupada's my guru. They just don't, the Ritvik thing, they just don't have faith and trust in the previous, in the spiritual teachers. They've lost their faith. And so they've taken the guru, the living guru, out of the situation. So it was never done like that before. We can see, they're still going on. There's many of them. They've been in Krishna consciousness a long time, and they have some success. Like in Bangalore, the devotees in Bangalore, certainly they have some success. A lot of people have gone to their temples. They have big temples. And they've done a lot distributing food. Their Akshaya Patra program. But that was not really the mission of Srila Prabhupada. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati also, they didn't have that mood just to feed people, give, food for the people in the prisons and in the schools and everything. That's not the real work of Krishna consciousness. The real work of the Krishna consciousness movement is giving the holy name and teaching people spiritual knowledge. So of course they've got recognition from the Indian government. Oh, they've fed so many people, they've distributed so many meals for the poor, but that is not spiritual. That is not spiritual work. The real spiritual work is distributing the holy name and teaching people spiritual knowledge.
Can we take some other questions before? Maybe we can take some new devotees, but we have only some are asking questions, some are not asking. Maybe we can take later on.
It was just an added comment.
Okay,
but I don't know if you want to,
Because it's going to be like personal, thing, personal development in a personal thing. Let us keep that as a center. Like otherwise we will deviate so many things, we will take so many branches now. Yeah, Emil Prabhu, please, you have some questions too.
Well, there's personal development, at least a personal question, because I'm doing a lot of deity worship in the temple and I'm quite fond of it. But can you speak about why is it important and how can this also help us also spread the message of Krishna consciousness, so it's not just being in the temple and doing deity worship, but something that really develops one also to get the desire to want to give Bhuvanitai to the people.
Well, deity worship is important in the sense of cleanliness. You've got to get, it's a very important principle in Krishna consciousness, and also punctuality. These two things are basic features of deity worship. So taking part in the deity worship is a very powerful purification in the sense of cleanliness. You have to be very clean. You have to bathe 3 times or more a day. Every time you go on the altar, before you go on the altar, you got to be clean. You got to put on clean cloth. You got to be, and you got to purify your consciousness as well, chanting mantras and offering the different articles to the deities. It's a powerful purification for us. So if you do deity worship, it does have a very powerful effect on our consciousness, because you have to meditate on the form of the Lord. It's a meditation.
How can this help us also in spreading the message of Krishna consciousness?
Well, people come and see the deities. They can be impressed. It's nice for them to come and see how devotees are worshipping the deity and how the deities are decorated. You want to be thinking, if you go to Vrindavan, Krishna Balaram Mandir, you can see beautiful decorations, So you also want to think about decorating the altar, making it really attractive. And people will come and say, wow, you just be amazed, be impressed. This is the job of the pujari, that you have to really think how to, not just show Krishna in Vrindavan, with some rocks, but you want to really make it very, very beautiful, very attractive. That we should feel that, this is the spiritual world. You come and you see the deity. This is the spiritual world.
Thank you, Maharaj. I confirm what I said the other day.
Yes.
Our head pujari was asking somewhat similar question.
Yeah, it was the same answer. So
Same
it's
answer,
like double
yeah.
confirmation.
Answer same answer. Really nice.
Madhana Gopal Prabhu, you don't have any questions?
Confused.
Sweating on the spot.
What is it?
You're putting me on the spot.
I mean, it's good to be taken, everyone ask the question.
Madan Gopal
I'll think about it.
You study Chinese medicine and do acupuncture.
There's no questions about this.
Dila Priya,
I will ask later.
yeah. Anyone has questions, please ask Maharaj. Srinivas.
Yes.
Very good.
Chant. Is it okay? Is if there's no one else raising the hand? Because it is, you said that it should be like personal.
Maybe Shamata.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
no, Mataji.
No, you
No.
first.
No,
If there is
no,
more
I am
time.
not accent. Jayanti Prabhu, what you are saying?
Please.
Mataji. No, I am not accepting this, please. You told like.
Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead,
It
Mataji.
has just bothered me a lot for some time that about the Gaudiya Math, Ritvi, Hare Krishna, and ISKCON. So my question is that in the past, like Chenji Prabhu was explaining that Srila Prabhupada's godbrothers, they did not help him so much. And then the disciples were advised to keep a little distance, like respectful distance. But how is it today? Because I hear that we should not be so narrow-minded, and we should be more inclusive, and like that. Could you kindly give that understanding of how I should like view everyone?
It's a delicate situation, definitely. With caution, we can associate with the other groups. You know, Prabhupada did want us to come together. One of the things which Jayapataka Swami was asked to do by Srila Prabhupada was to try to bring the Gaudiya Math together with ISKCON, bring them together. And every year they do have a meeting on the day of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati's appearance. And they all come together and speak. You give them 5 minutes each to speak. So try. The problems come that there's personal interests there. You know, that we had some bad experiences in the past. And sometimes devotees would go and they would be influenced. Sometimes they'd be told bad things, they'd be told negative things about Srila Prabhupada, and sometimes even some people were given re-initiation. And we've seen that people have gone from ISKCON, they went there and they were given re-initiation. So that kind of thing is not very good, you know. That's one of the problems in trying to associate together. Some people I know, like some of my godbrothers who were Prabhupada's disciples who'd gone to associate with the Gaudiya Math, sometimes they, you know, say, can we have a program together? What, you know, I was in Singapore and they were also there, and so I was speaking. Somehow we're speaking to each other. He said, why don't we have a program together? But, you know, I said, no, I can't do that. I said, I don't think that's very, very good for us, because in some way, if I do that, then it encourages everyone. You know, you can also go there and you can mix with them and they're just the same as us, but it's not quite the same as us. There are differences. There are some differences, like, you know, they will speak, they're not going to speak just from Prabhupada's books, you see. And they don't just view Prabhupada, but they're more different things. There's some differences there. They'll speak more maybe of the Gopi Baba and the higher rasas. And sometimes they say, You know, ISKCON is just for the sadhana bhakta, but if you want to do raganuga bhakta, you have to come to me. If you want to be if you want to go on to the higher levels, you know, you have to come and associate with us. You know, these kind of things. So, not good for us to hear this kind of thing. And it's not correct also.
But in London you have Saturday Harinam in London. Are everybody together during the Harinam?
Harinam? Okay. Everyone can join Harinam. Yeah. They can all join Harinam, we don't mind. We want to come for Harinam, be with us. Rath Yatra, come and join us. Okay, no problem. We don't mind. But when it comes to giving classes, speaking, yeah, you have to be a little careful. South India, in Hyderabad, you know that they had the Acharya come from the Ramanuja Sampradaya. And you know, he came and he spoke at the Rath Yatra last year. He was there and he came to the Rath Yatra and he spoke nicely. You know. So some people are nice, you know. But sometimes it gets difficult.
So can I ask something you said, Chairman Prabhu, about decorating the deities and dressing the deities and also decorating the altar and the temple? You said when people come, like they get inspired and they can feel like the spiritual world or something. So is that what our mood should be when we decorate the temple, or something we decorate for the temple for festivals or everything? What should be our mood while we decorate the temple?
Yeah, we want to attract the conditioned souls. They should feel the temple is the oasis in the desert, right? Copenhagen is the desert, and our temple is the oasis in the desert. They should feel really. They should feel the atmosphere, you know, they should feel like that. They should feel the purity, the power. Yeah, so we decorate the temple, make it very pleasing. Use things, simple things, mango leaves sometimes, often hang mango leaves around. Cloths, you can also use pieces of cloth. You don't have to. It's not easy to get mango leaves maybe here to Copenhagen.
That's my question. Where would you get mango leaves from here?
Very expensive, Maharaj.
Yeah, forgetting the
There are many other leaves. There's many other leaves.
Cherry leaves.
Maybe the banana?
Cherry bananas are not so common.
You get bananas, but no banana leaf. Yeah, but anyway, you can hang cloth, pieces of colorful cloth here and there, and this way you decorate it. Some imagination, you have to be a little creative. Some people are good at that, you know. It's a practice. You start thinking about it, how to do it, how to decorate the temple, make it a little more attractive. In Kuala Lumpur, right, they have the pieces of cloth hanging across the ceiling. Nice.
Nice, almost transparent soft cloth. Very soft. Deity worship is like Pujari is like a Vasalya Ras, the parent of Krishna. You know, you dress Krishna, you feed Krishna. The deity is completely dependent on the Pujari. So we read in the Krishna book how mother should pay so much attention every morning in dressing up Krishna before he goes out and with his friends. To put a lot of attention, dressing around clothes and all that. So there's the same mood we need to apply.
Maharaj, I have a question. You know, after spending so much time and energy and resources, some people always yes boss, but never take the process.
What?
After spending so much time and energy and resources, some will never take the process. There are always yes bosses. And what is the hope for them and what is the hope for the creatures?
Well, hope for the preacher, there's a lot of preaching to be done, right? He's got a lot of work to do.
But whereas sometimes there is familiarity content the breed.
What?
Familiarity content the breed. In South India we say the same medicine grow in the garden, in our own garden is not used, but it's the same medicine used for our neighbors.
Well, we have to be patient, we have to be determined. That's it, enthusiasm, patience and determination. In everything, these things are required, and especially in trying to reach the conditioned souls. But we want to be, perseverant, we want to be patient. We know they're not going to change very easily. But at the same time, we can be determined. We have to think more and more how to attract them, how to somehow give them a little Krishna consciousness. Right? There's that story about Gadadhar Das. He wanted to get the head of the village was a Muslim, and so Gadadhar was thinking how to make him Krishna conscious. So somehow he went to the Muslim man's house in the middle of the night, and the Muslim man was sleeping on his bed, and Gadadhar came into the man's room in the middle of the night, and Gadadhar was, I want you to chant the holy name. I want you to chant Hare Krishna. And the Muslim man looked up and said, "Oh, Gadadhar, I will chant Hare Krishna some other day." And Gadadhar said, "Hari Bol, you chanted the holy name." He was so happy that they chanted the holy name. So if the holy name comes even one time on the lips of these people, we feel very happy that we're successful in our preaching. So we try to get people to somehow let them taste prasadam, let them somehow hear the holy name, even if they cannot chant, they can hear the holy name. Very good.
What is the message to those people, Maharaj?
Well, our message is always the same, chant and be happy. People want to be happy, they're not finding any happiness in the material world. They're all trying to be happy, they're looking for happiness, but they're not finding any real happiness. They're looking in the wrong place. They have to understand there's happiness, but it's not in the material world. The happiness is within, in the soul. They have to awaken their spiritual consciousness. So we want them to look within, to see the real self.
Actually, the fact that they are coming to prasadam, to participate in the kirtan, they're already very rare souls, compared to the rest of the population. But it is a fact that sometimes we see, even in the Copenhagen temple, I've seen guests who come since my time, 30 or plus years ago, but they're not making much progress. They're still almost right there. So what I observe is that when someone comes and they're not making much progress, at some point they get stuck. It's a comfort zone. They feel very comfortable there. And when Sridhar Maharaj is traveling around, teaching the leadership management course, he gave me one very important instruction that I've used very successfully. He told me that now people will come, it's like there's like a Rubicon line there, an invisible line. Then you have the devotees who are active, then the other observing from outside. Right? So he said if some guests come, engage them. If you have nothing they can do, just drop something on the floor and say, oh, excuse me, maybe you can help me pick this up. Or by the act of service, they actually cross the line to become we instead of them. He identified with the devotees just by that small act of service. So the more they engage and doing some service, the more they identify with, I'm part of this. I'm not on the outside looking in. So as devotee, we devise different means to attract them, to engage them. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nimai Pandit, some of the Brahmanas, they were insulting him. They were not respecting him because he was young. He was a grihastha. So he said, "How can I attract all this?" And it took sannyas to do that. It took sannyas. Now they have to bow down to me and offer respect and make program. So as preacher, we always have to be thinking, how? What one can do? How can I attract this person? How can I attract that person? You cannot be stagnant. You always have to be very progressive. What is the mood out there? What's going on in the society? What are people into? You know?
Any more questions?
What was the Prabhupada moods? Like suppose somebody should want to do more austerity. Suppose somebody devotee decides, okay, today is this auspicious day, I will fast. I mean, I will not eat anything, I will fast, but I cannot do any service. Our Prabhupada mood was, no, take some prasadam if you are not able to do, but do some service. What was Prabhupada mood? How?
Service comes first. You have to do service. Fasting, that's up to you if you want to fast. But service has to be there. You have to do service. On one Ekadasi, in the good times of the Gaudiya Math, the devotees in the temple were fasting for Ekadasi. And that day, a man came to invite the devotees to a program. And they said, no, we're fasting. We're not coming to any program today. We're all fasting. But when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati heard, he said, cook prasadam. Everyone take prasadam. Go for the program. You know, he didn't think that the program should be rejected. Program was first. Fasting, that's not very important.
It's like Niyamagraha.
Yeah, you can't be attached to too much attached. You know. At the same time, sometimes Prabhupada told Pradyumna, Pradyumna was Prabhupada's Sanskrit editor, told Pradyumna, fasting is necessary for spiritual life. So we're doing fasting, meat, fish and eggs. We're fasting from meat, fish and eggs. We're fasting there. We're fasting, eating prasadam is purifying.
Actually, there's one story that will illustrate this point. It was Janmashtami, and one of Prabhupada's secretary of Seventh Harikesh Guru. Prabhupada was asking, where is Harikesh? Oh, he's sleeping. Prabhupada said, go wake him up. So he came into the room and Prabhupada said, why are you sleeping during the day? He said, Prabhupada, I'm feeling very weak because I'm fasting. Then he said, we are weak, hungry, eat. He said, but it's Janmashtami. You're supposed to be fast until midnight. He said, no, what's the use of you fasting and then you're sleeping the whole day and not chanting? The whole idea of the fasting is to reduce our bodily needs and increase our spiritual activity. So he told the devotee, bring him some Mahaprasadam. And he was protesting. He said, no, Prabhupada, I'm fasting. I said, no, I order you to eat. So he has to right in front of Prabhupada, he has to eat. So the higher principle, why we are doing what we are doing, why are we performing the austerity? That supersedes that. Otherwise, you become like a nectar instruction, niyamagraha. You're following rules and regulations just for the sake of following, without understanding the reason why we're doing it.
Some of my family members, they are from Vrindavan, from other gurus, they have taken disciple and they said, no, you should sit secluded, give up everything. And so that's why I was asking a question, because our sampradaya is like, we, as you said, focus on service, but so sometimes I was getting, thinking rather, whether they are correct or we are correct or both are correct.
Well, it's not the fasting, it's the consciousness that, as Prabhu said, you don't want to be sleeping, you want to be doing service for Krishna, that's the important thing. What service are you doing for Krishna? That's what we give the importance to. Fast or not fast, that's not very important. But want to know how much service are you doing? What are you doing for Krishna? How many rounds are you chanting? If you're cooking all day in the kitchen, maybe you're cooking for the Janmashtami. You can't be so weak, You have to cook. You have to carry big pots, and you have to do a lot of. It's very tiring. So sometimes the cooks they have to eat something to be able to cook.
Also temporary circumstances. When Prabhupada came to Stockholm, the one time 1973, he told the devotees that Sweden is a very cold place. You should eat more halva. And we did that literally. Our Sankirtan devotee, every Saturday we have halwa for breakfast. Every Saturday. That was breakfast, halwa.
I want to ask, who you were inspired the most among your spiritual brothers? Who influenced your spiritual life the most? From your spiritual brothers, who influenced your spiritual life the most? Or who you were inspired by? From your spiritual
Your
brothers?
spiritual God brothers. Your God brothers.
Yeah.
Or God sisters.
So what about that? To be inspired by the God brothers and God sisters?
No, who inspired the
Who inspired you
most?
the most? Maharaj the most?
Who inspired the Maharaj most?
Oh, who is right?
Among his God brothers or sisters.
Who inspired you most?
Yeah. Well, of course, Prabhupada is the main inspiration. So the followers of Prabhupada, the ones who follow Prabhupada, they inspire me the most.
Maybe there was some special personality in your life.
Well, I was serving Tamal Krishna Goswami more than 20 years.
Were you also together with Jivananda Prabhu then?
Huh?
Were you serving together with Jivananda Prabhu? He was also serving him?
Jivananda?
Jivananda Prabhu, also a Srila Prabhupada disciple.
Jivananda?
Yeah.
Jayananda?
No, Jivananda.
Jivananda. From America.
I don't know any Jivananda.
Okay.
That was random. Yes.
He was at least also serving him for many years.
So, who, Tamakrishna?
Yeah.
Was Tamakrishna Maharaj very happy to let you, or be together with you? Was he very happy, or is it just like?
Oh yeah.
But he wrote to me that was his own reputation.
Yeah, I had some people come to the temple one time and they saw a picture of Tamal Krishna Goswami and said, "Oh God, look at this, he looks so fearful." Just from his appearance,
Yeah.
He looks so fearful, so threatening, powerful. Anyway, he could be very sweet. He could be like a rose, he could be like a thunderbolt. Soft as a rose and sometimes like a thunderbolt.
what part of his service it was in India or in China, maybe, when he was preaching in China,
Yeah.
where you were serving him.
Well, I met Tamal Krishna Goswami first in USA when he'd just come from India. So he was very sweet. He'd just come out of India and come to USA. He was very gentle that time. And later on then I met him in India. You know, again, time, place and circumstance. Not so much my situation, but you know, he had to deal with a lot of issues. He was having a lot of responsibility in the Krishna consciousness movement. He had a lot of people always asking him for advice and around him. So he had a lot of pressure on him. So you couldn't always expect him to be totally peaceful and satisfied. You know, he had a lot of things going on. He was very worried about the Krishna consciousness movement. He was very much concerned how to keep the society together, how to keep, you know, the Krishna consciousness movement the way Prabhupada would want it. He was always thinking about Prabhupada. What would Prabhupada want?
Someone mentioned in the early days, said Tamal Krishna Maharaj is like the Swarv Damodar of ISKCON. Very, very strict. So like Swarv Damodar, you have to go through him to go to get to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it was like that. Were you ever with the Radha Damodar party?
No. Yeah, the Radha Damodar party, you know, that was Tamal Krishna Maharaj. It was actually Vishnu Jan Swamis who originated it, and Tamal Krishna came and joined Vishnu Jana Swami, and then he built it up. You know, Vishnu Jana Swami, he was happy just at one bus and a few devotees and travel. But Tamal Krishna Maharaj wanted to do something big, you know, and he expanded it. Got more and more people, more and more buses, and more, because you know, Prabhupada, Tamal Krishna Goswami told me Prabhupada would ask him, how many books have you distributed? How many devotees have you made? How many properties have you acquired? You know, Prabhupada wanted results, you know, he expected results. He wanted to know, what are you doing?
Is it easier, Maharaj, to be a Majidi? Is it easier to be in a female body, in one sense, because we don't get such heavy Christians? You think so?
No, I don't think so. Do you think so?
Yes.
Huh?
I think so.
Really? What do you think?
I didn't hear what she said.
Just
What is it?
Because Prabhupada said to Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Prabhupada had big expectation.
So she said, is it easier to be in a woman's body?
Yeah, because there's not so much expectation from us. We just have to serve our husband and take care and be good to each other. That is what I feel.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, you all have men have their challenges, women have their challenges.
That is not Krishna conscious, just being, you know, a good wife and taking care of your husband. That's not Krishna consciousness. You got to do more than that.
I would inspire the husband to do something.
Oh, the husband you shouldn't do anything.
No, I am also distributing books. We are in Africa. Okay.
Yes, mostly
Ghana.
in Kenya.
Ghana.
What? Oh, they usually move around too fast, I can't keep up. Somewhere in Africa.
Yeah, you have to do something also. You can't just say, oh, I'm taking care of my husband. That's not Krishna consciousness. What are you doing for Krishna? What are you doing for Prabhupada? I'm taking care of my husband. No,
I'm just hanging on to the devotee. Because yours share 50%, right? So you don't have to do anything.
Of course, you don't neglect your husband, but you have to do more than just take care of your husband. Yeah, that's one thing you have to do, but you have to do other things as well. You can't just be satisfied. I'm taking care of my husband, that's good. You have to do a bit more than that. Right? How many books did you distribute? How many devotees did you make? How many properties did you get?
I think I shouldn't have asked you this question.
Can I ask you one final question?
Just related to this, like it seems like different devotees have different levels of capacity. So sometimes when they hear that, oh, you should distribute books, you should open centers, maybe some devotees just does not really have the capacity to open a center. How should they take such an instruction? Like a general instruction, how should they view themselves in this?
I think it's also looking at different times. I mean, in the early days, devotee join 1 week and then Prabhupada you go here. I don't think they really think about whether they have the capacity or don't have the capacity. Prabhupada say go, they just went. And by following the spiritual master instruction, they become empowered to do what was given to them. Otherwise, there was this one famous professor from Harvard in the early World of Hare Krishna video. In an interview, he said, I read about Bhaktivedanta Swami book. I came to temple, I saw this young chap. It doesn't connect. How he behave, how he act, doesn't connect with the high philosophy that was in the book. And he said Prabhupada was able to turn all these really untrained young boys and girls into doing something wonderful, like printing books and printing a magazine. They have no idea how to make magazines. The only relationship with magazine was to read one maybe. But somehow Prabhupada gave the order, they do it, and they create the whole thing. So very often we see, actually many devotees are that. It's not about capacity. And of course the spiritual master is very expert in engaging the disciple. He knows what the surrender of the disciple and what they're capable of. And he always, one time I heard in Krishna consciousness, the difference with the outside society. Outside society, you have to be qualified and show your experience before they hire you. Here, they engage you in the service, and by doing that, you become qualified. The qualification come after. Because it's devotional service working on the spiritual potency. It's not just a material thing. Of course, you have the material qualification, it helps.
Yeah, Prabhupada gave the Back to Godhead magazine to the devotee. Prabhupada said, I began this magazine, now I want you to continue it. And the devotee said, oh Prabhupada, I don't know anything about it. I never had a magazine or anything before. But Prabhupada said, don't worry, Krishna will help you. So Prabhupada encouraged the devotees, you depend on Krishna. And he's a real doer, we're just instruments in his service. But Krishna takes care. He arranges for everything. He sends the money, he sends the devotees. I was in Ambik and I was looking at the temple room, and they have this awnings around the temple, and the awnings are all decorated with beautiful flowers. All around the temple room, and I said, who did this? And they said, oh, some lady, some young woman came, and she just stayed for some time, and she liked to paint, and she started painting these flowers. And she decorated the whole temple room, all around the temple room, very beautifully done. Nice flowers, decorated, so nicely done. I was really, they said, who was she? I said, we don't know. She just came and she wanted to paint, and she started doing this, and after some time she left. Krishna sends people. Krishna sends, whatever we need. Krishna will arrange people to come.
And also building the Vrindavan temple, Guru Das was the project manager. What does he know about construction? He was a project manager. What capacity?
Thank you.
So no more questions? So Maharaj, maybe you can give some takeaway class or anything, because most of us are grihasthas, feeling, working and yeah. So.
Yeah, well, grihe tako, vani tako, sabha hari boli tako. It doesn't matter if you're a grihastha or a renunciate or whatever position. If you're a devotee of Krishna, then we want your association. Lord Chaitanya met with Ramananda Rai, and Lord Chaitanya was asking Ramananda Rai questions, and Ramananda Rai said, hey, he said, just a minute, he said, you're the sannyasi, and you're born in the Brahmana family, you're the sannyasi. He said, I'm just a grihastha, I'm from a low-born family, I'm not even a Brahmana, I'm from a low-class family. But Lord Chaitanya said, Kiba Vipra, Kiba Nasi, Sudra Keninai, Ye Krishna Tadvavet, say Guru Hai. Right? It doesn't matter if you're a learned Brahmana or a renunciate or whatever position you're in society. It's not important. But if you know the science of Krishna, the Krishna Tattva, then you can become the spiritual teacher. And Lord Chaitanya encouraged Ramananda Rai in this way, and encouraged all of us. We have to learn the science of Krishna, we have to spend our time talking about Krishna. This is the business of devotees. Madchita madgata prana bodayantas parasparam katayantas Tushyanti charamanti. The thoughts of my devotees dwell in me. Their lives are surrendered unto me, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss by enlightening one another and conversing about me. This is our business as devotees, coming together, discussing about Krishna. Regularly we used to have Istagosti time, right? Istagosti, to come together and discuss topics of Krishna. It's very important for us to, have more this kind of program, coming together and discussing topics of Krishna. It's very valuable for us. So I'm very grateful to Prabhu for organizing this program, bringing us all together, an opportunity for us to share Krishna consciousness.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. I just want to say something about Maharaj. Anyone didn't know that. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I did not say before. So actually, Maharaj joined Krishna consciousness and initiated by Srila Prabhupada in 1971. And then in 1994, he accepted the renunciation order from Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And for more than 5 decades, it's like more than 50 years, Maharaj has dedicated his life to fulfilling Srila Prabhupada's mission. His preaching has taken him throughout India, China, the Philippines, Thailand, and many other parts of Asian countries. Especially my older daughter, she quite often says about Maharaj, and she was having a good association in Philippines. And particularly these places, Maharaj is inspiring countless people throughout his heartfelt Krishna Katha. And then, and he is also a great example of great devotional service. He is especially appreciated for his emphasis on attentive chanting of holy names. Strong daily sadhana, and we can see that even I was quite observing when Maharaj is saying, he's so much focused also in Japamala, and then this is a great example. And he's he's actually living the teachings of Krishna consciousness with sincerity and humility. Those who know Maharaj often say that he truly walks his talk. Maharaj also rendered valuable service as a teacher at the Mayapur Institute and training Bhakti Shastri. And actually, I was one of the Maharaj student. I think it was 9 years ago or 8 years ago. Maharaj was teaching also Bhakti Shastri. And I can really recollect Maharaj was so detail oriented and very strict with his teachings. And Maharaj also rendered valuable service as a teacher. That is all. And in addition to his preaching and educational services, Maharaj has served ISKCON in leadership capacities, contributing to the society's preaching and development in cooperation with senior leaders and the GBC. His life reflects a deep commitment to preserving Srila Prabhupada's teachings while encouraging devotees to cultivate humility, cooperation, and steadfast devotional practice. And this is a great example. So thank you so much, Maharaj, and came to our house again and giving us a wonderful Krishna Katha and question and answer session. I'm sure many of us take into the heart, and then we try to practice as much as from your message. If anyone wants to connect with Maharaj, Maharaj has a Facebook page. One can connect and get his classes and his updates. And at least I see Maharaj updates often, wherever he travels and what he's teaching. So please, and I really encourage to do that if you are not in contact with Maharaj. So thank you so much, Maharaj, for coming again. And so His Holiness Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Narasimha Swami Maharaj.
Maharaj also have many disciples in the areas preaching, like Thailand, Malaysia, Taiwan, Philippines, Hong Kong. Many disciples in China. And one particular service that Maharaj is always very attached to. Wherever you go, any temple you go, you'll see him doing Mangalarti. Yes. So Maharaj is always doing Mangalarti. Every temple he goes.
So everyone, please come tomorrow for Mangalarti.
Okay. Veda.